Hey everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. In today's episode, we're going to be studying a piece by the established 3D artist known as Garrett Jayordan. In this episode, we're going to be looking at the symbolism of the halo. We're also going to meet the one racing to rise. So let's just jump right into it. So at first glance, I'm with a single subject set in center space. He appears to be standing in this stance of awe as we reflect the same spirit simultaneously. So of course, the choice to place our subject in center certainly denotes him as the main subject of the scene at hand, right? We see this further reinforced by a light on dark accent. And color offered by this composition is just this singular blue, right? The presence of such minimal color always elevates the visual impact of form as well as symbolism too, so all in all, we love to see it here. We can't help but notice this hazy atmosphere to the work at hand, right? This aesthetic really gives a sense of the metaphysical or the mystical or such a sacred scene here. I think we certainly feel that. And the layout of this composition is quite interesting to consider, right? We see, of course, he's standing in this circular spotlight, and this gives a sense of radial symmetry and offers a feeling of balance and harmony as our lone subject stands in a perfect alignment with that balance and harmony. And with this in mind, how do y'all feel when you view this piece? So we see this lone subject standing in center space, right? He has this racing suit with a helmet of anonymity. We have no idea exactly who this is, but regardless, he is standing in a spotlight, and the nature of the spotlight always focuses our attention on the one who stands within that. I think we certainly see that, right? The ring of light is quite interesting to consider, right? We have this sense of the metaphysical. When you have this blinding white light, it almost always gives a sense of a divine display, and with this in mind, this ring is almost reminiscent of a nimbus or a halo. A halo, of course, is a very popular religious symbol that always denotes the sacred with absolute ease, and I think we see this here. The title of this work is Rise, right? So with that in mind, we can give a subtle hint of the symbolism at hand. Perhaps our subject is on their way to rise in ascension, but with this in mind, it's hard to say exactly what's going on here. But despite this, perhaps our subject is standing in the spotlight just seconds before they start racing to rise. And this is a stunning piece. I think there's no doubt about that. I actually have an additional work from the original artist Garrett Jayordan. I'm going to bring that in real quick and see what we can learn here. Alright, so I brought an additional piece from the original artist Garrett Jayordan, and the reason I did is both of these subjects appear to be the same, right? You have this racing suit and this racing helmet in both instances. What you also may notice is the sense of the sacred in both scenes, right? You have this blinding white light and you have a sense of the metaphysical here. I think we certainly see that. In the work on the right by Jayordan, we see this lone subject not looking at the blinding white light. Instead, his attention is focused on this mystical artifact which represents the point or exactly what you should be paying attention to, especially when all that noise threatens to blind you. In the work on the left, of course, today's showcase, also by Jayordan, we see this lone subject standing in a ring of ascendant light, but both instances, it's hard to say exactly what's happening. The work on the right has much more concrete symbolism than the one on the left, but regardless, both feel like sacred scenes, and I think there's no doubt about that. So of course, the scene before us is incredibly realistic, right? That is the nature of the digital render. Digital renders always offer a highly realistic scene. I think we certainly see that here. The work before us was created with the digital rendering program known as Blender. Blender has an incredibly high skill ceiling. I know everyone from amateurs to professionals who are using Blender to create their work. So if y'all want to get involved in the world of 3D art, to create your own digital renders, Blender is an incredible program to get started. So really hope y'all enjoyed today. We talked about so many different things, from the presence of this blue being the only color, this ring which reminds of a halo, everything from the realism of the digital render to perhaps the symbolism of such a sacred scene. So many different things we talked about today. I truly hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all enjoyed today's episode, make sure to check out the original artist Garrett Jayordan, doing some amazing stuff in the world of 3D art and digital render as a whole. But like I said, if y'all enjoyed today's episode, make sure to check out the original artist. My name is Apollo. This was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.